Behind me is the 2025 Surron Ultra Bee, and I'm gonna show you how to make this bike better for $100. I know it's a 5, but it's all we had left because we spent it on the mods. All right, let's get into it. The first thing that you can do is peel off the graphics. That's an easy one. Just take the graphics off. Bike looks way better without them, in my opinion. Next thing is you can take a file and file these foot pegs down to make them sharper. That is one downside to the stock Ultra Bee. The foot pegs are not very grippy, so you can file those foot pegs down and boom, those are 2 freebies right there. You don't have to spend any money to do those 2 things, and you've already made the bike better. You've made it look better, and you made the foot pegs better. The next thing you can do is add these bar risers for $23. This is going to raise the bars up 15 millimeters, give you a little bit more comfortable cockpit, better riding position, and the cheapest way to get a little bit more height in the front. The next thing you can do for $58 is add this Dunlop MX34 front tire. This is gonna have a much more aggressive tread pattern. It's gonna give you better grip and more traction up front. And last but not least, we put a battery rattle stopper in here for $15. You can see, battery just moves around just enough to make some noise, and you will feel that when you're riding. So this is the battery rattle stopper. I'll show you how this goes in. So disconnect terminals here. I'll lift the battery up just a little bit. Just slide this down while you slide your battery in, just like that. Close this valve off. Give it a couple pumps. That thing's not going anywhere. You can just tuck this underneath there, connect your battery. No more battery rattle. So all of those mods we got done for a grand total of $96. Those are the mods for $100. Now let's go ride this thing, see if it made it better. First thing you notice for sure are the foot pegs. I feel way more attached to the bike right away, and that's a free mod. Another thing you notice right away, I was getting that little bit of thud on some of this chatter. And oftentimes people think it may be their suspension. I have thought that before too, but when you know what it is, it's that battery just moving around just a little bit, making that thud noise, and yeah, it's all gone now. Just nice. That's a good turn to feel that front end. All right, here's a little more high-speed stuff. Let's get some feel of this Dunlop here. That type of stuff is where you notice it the most. Yeah, much better traction there. Now let's talk about the front end a little bit. I am running my fork tubes completely flush with the triple clamp. So fork tubes are as far down in the clamps as you can get them. Try to raise up the front of this bike as much as possible. For the handlebars, guys, I think this is an improvement. Just want a little bit more height out of the front, but it does not change the bend of the handlebar. The bend on these handlebars, they've got a lot of sweep to them, which is comfortable for a lot of riders, but it's historically not something I like a ton of on my handlebars. I don't like a ton of sweep, back sweep. So this is going to correct some of that height, bring the bars up a little bit, probably make it feel a little bit more comfortable for a lot of you. But if your issue is with the bend of the bar, that's really not going to change. Yeah, there's a few corners up here where I'm really aware of what this bike feels like stock, and yeah, you're getting better traction on this Dunlop tire. It's just more aggressive. You can just see from the tread pattern, it's not necessarily that much bigger. I wish it were. Surron did a good job speccing the front of the Ultra Bee with a decent sized 70-100 19, but it's not very aggressive. So that's what you're gonna get with the Dunlop. More aggressive knobbies. But let's be honest here. This is a video of how to make your Ultra Bee better for $100. Does it cure it completely? No. This is only for those of you who want to keep the 19 stock up front. I'd like to give you guys a nice budget option where, by all means, run your front tire until it's too worn out. The stock front tire, that is. But when it's time to upgrade, there are other options out there. And yeah, I think this Dunlop just gets better traction. Is it gonna make it feel like a 21? Nope. It's not gonna cure that issue. Yeah, on this rocky, chunky stuff, I don't really notice a big difference of that tire. I think it's got a stiffer sidewall, so if anything, it feels a little bit stiffer. But when you do have traction in like a soft corner or something where you can really get a lean angle on the bike, that's where I'm noticing this MX-34 really being an improvement and getting some more bite. So I'm clearly riding single track off-road stuff right now. I know a lot of you guys are too. But if you're like using this as more of a pit bike, moto type bike, I think that Dunlop MX-34 is gonna be most noticeable in that environment. Like stuff where you can really get the bike leaned over and you're looking for traction. Speaking of tires, the next thing I would do is obviously do the rear tire. The tough thing about the rear, if you're keeping stock wheel size, is finding a good 18 that isn't gonna be too big. That alone, coming up some like rooty, wet stuff or even just dry, rocky stuff, this tire lights up. It's okay. I mean, it's a hard compound tire, not great knobbies, and if you're running a tube, it has to be a little overinflated to not be getting a pinch flat. It's another reason why I like to go 2118. That wasn't the point of this video. We're doing stuff for $100, I get it. But that's an opportunity that I just want to use to talk about tires. Because next thing I would want to do is upgrade the rear tire. There just aren't as many options in this size of different compound tires. When you get into the 100, 118 or 110, 118 tires, now you've got the entire catalog from every tire manufacturer to pick from. And the problem with that is when you go with a bigger rear tire like that, it's just gonna further emphasize the issue of this 19 up front, making it more stink bug high in the rear. And that's why I always go 21. It's one of the reasons. Yes, I wanna bring the front end up on the bike just in general and open up tire options for a 21 up front. But what it also does is allows me to run the rear tire that I want to without making the bike too far pitch forward. So it's kind of a twofold thing. It's not just the front. I'm really anxious to put a better rear tire on this bike too. I'm not gonna get ahead of myself. I often get ahead of myself. $100, man. This is great, but just a little moment to talk to you about tires. We'll get into that in the next video, but let's get back to this video. Here we go. You can hear that tire. You should be able to hear that tire, at least. Tough to get traction. Anyways, there's a tree in here, right here, that I always hit with my hand. I gotta put handguards back on this bike. I don't know if you noticed, but frame's a little scratched. May have tipped it over in some rocks when I wasn't filming. Oh, that was deeper than I thought it was gonna be. So if you're riding more like roots and rocks and stuff like that, like honestly what this type of terrain is, you might want to go with a different 7119, maybe something with a softer compound, give you a little bit more compliance in some of those sections. But Dunlop MX-34 to me, really good all-around tire. We ride this bike in a lot of different environments, so that's why I would recommend the MX-34, but I will link a couple other options of different tires that I like that you can also explore. I gotta say, I've been noticing it the whole ride and not talking about it because I'm trying to kind of run through everything that we did, but sharpening the foot pegs might be the most impactful thing that you can do. The battery rattle thing is also important to me, at least. I don't know if you guys are feeling it or hearing it. I think it makes a big difference. It is distracting. It can just give you like kind of a feeling that, I don't know, it gives it like an uncomfortable feeling if your battery's moving around. Plus, you just don't want your battery moving around anyways. Starting to grow in up here. Been getting a lot of rain, which is awesome. Feels like we're about to get some more right now. Another instance where I would like a gummier rear tire is right here. See if I can get this without blowing up. Momentum. Yeah. I don't want to toot my own horn or anything, but just crush that. You can keep your momentum up. No worries. It's when you lose it though. That's where that gummy tire helps on these electric dirt bikes. Missed an opportunity there. I don't want to toot my own horn, but dad jokes. Sorry. Okay, so we modded the Ultra Bee for $100. Did it make it better? Yes, it definitely did. I just want to point out, I appreciate that not everyone is going to buy an Ultra Bee and have a massive budget to throw money at it. So that's why I wanted to do this video, was to give you guys an option. If you bought an Ultra Bee and you just want to do a couple mods to it to make it a little bit better, then here's a video for you guys to improve something that's already a great bike. This bike is really good. You may like it out of the box and not need to do anything, but these are just a few recommendations of what I would do if you have a really limited budget. Most noticeably, man, just follow your foot pegs down if you're keeping your stock pegs and you're riding off-road. It'll help a lot just to grip the bike. Keep your feet on the pegs. Prior, I had my feet blowing off of the pegs quite a bit, so that's an easy one to do. Front tire, for sure. If you're gonna keep a 19 on the front, I recommend swapping that to a more aggressive front 70-119. So, you know, you can wait to do it until you need to do it. I'll get into the next video and explain some of this more in terms of wheel size. This is not going to be a replacement for a 21. I will keep preaching, but it is something that I really think this bike benefits from. And like I said back there, talking about the rear too, it also opens up rear tire options for you. So we'll do that next video. But if you're keeping a stock 19, if that's what you like, Dunlop MX-34, if you're in kind of more moto type terrain or stuff where you get good traction, I'll put in a couple of other tires that I would recommend, maybe if you're riding more off-road, rocky, rooty stuff, kind of like this. Bar risers for sure. Before I felt a little bit more hunched over the bike, so this brings them up a little bit, makes the bike feel a little bit more comfortable. It still does not cure the bar bend on here. For me, it just has a little too much sweep. I just don't love the bend of this handlebar, but I'm really picky about that stuff, so you may not notice it. If you like it, then keep rolling with it. But there are other bar options out there. So if you get this bike and you don't really have much budget to throw more at it, then these are some good options to maybe cure some of the things that you may be having issues with. So just keep that in mind. You know, there's a lot of other modifications that I would recommend if you have more than $100 budget, but if you're only working with $100 or you have a limited budget, these are a few things that may just make the bike ride a little bit better for you. So I hope this was helpful for you guys. Let me know if it was. Stay tuned if you're really keen on upgrading the Ultra Bee even more, because that's what we're going to be doing next. So stay tuned for that. And thank you guys for watching. See ya.